Day 796 of doing a LeetCode problem every day until I get a job. All right, y'all, we're back again. Another day, another LeetCode problem where we're doing daily LeetCode problems. And today we have question number 2006, count number of pairs with absolute difference k. The difficulty level is easy, so don't worry because you already know we're going to keep the solution as simple and easy to understand as possible. But before we get started, y'all, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. And if you need any new Apple AirPods, go ahead and check out that link in the description so you can get you some. Now let's see what the question says. Given the integer array nums and the integer k, return the number of pairs ij where I is less than j such that such that the absolute value of nums of I minus nums of j is equal to k. The value of absolute value of x is defined as if x is greater than or equal to 0 and negative x if x is less than 0. All right, y'all, so that may seem a little bit confusing at first, so let's go ahead and take a look at these examples just to make sure that we are doing this problem correctly. So, in example 1, our input nums equals an array of integers 1, 2, 2, 1, k equals 1. That means we want to find how many pairs here that we can create we can find that have an absolute difference of k, which in this case is 1. So the output is 4. That means we were able to find 4 pairs. The explanation says the pairs with the absolute difference of 1 are 1 and 2 right here, because if we subtract 2 from 1, we get negative 1. The absolute value of negative 1 is 1, because remember, the absolute value is just how many numbers is it away from 0. So it doesn't really, the absolute value is always going to be a positive number, right? Whether the difference is negative or not. So in this case, the difference is negative 1. So the absolute value is 1. That's equal to k. So that's one pair. The next pair would be 1 and 2. Boom. So this 1 and this 2. Same thing. Difference is negative 1. Negative 1 has the absolute value of 1. That's another pair. Same here. 2 and 1, right? This 2 and this 1. Boom. Same thing. That has a difference of 1 right on the nose. And same with this. 2 and 1. 2 and 1 has a difference of 1, which is right on the nose as well. Now, just in case, and in total there are 4 of these, so that's where 4 came from. Now, just in case that didn't make sense, let's take a look at example 2. So in example 2, our input nums equals an array of integers 1 and 3. This time k equals 3. The output is 0. Explanation says there are no pairs with an absolute difference of 3. So in this case, no matter what we do, there's only 2 numbers, and if we do 1 minus 3, that's going to give us negative 2. The absolute value of negative 2 is 2. 2 is not equal to 3, so there's 0 pairs that we can use. So now let's take a look at example 3. So in example 3, the input nums equals an array of integers 3, 2, 1, 5, 4. K equals 2. The output is 3. Because there are 3 pairs, the explanation says the pairs with an absolute value or an absolute difference of 2 are 3 and 1. When we subtract 1 from 3, we get 2. Boom, that's k, that's 1 pair. Then we do 3 and 5, right? Because when we subtract 5 from 3, that gives us negative 2. The absolute value of negative 2 is 2. That's the second pair. Boom, then the third pair, 2 and 4 right here, this 2 and this 4. When we subtract 4 from 2, that gives us negative 2. Absolute value of negative 2 again is 2. So that's the third pair, and in total there were 3 pairs we could create. So the output is 3. So I hope that makes sense to y'all. And now that we understand the question, let's get into the fun part, the actual solution. The solution is not that difficult at all. Now, first thing we need to do is we're going to create a variable that stores the total number of pairs, or our output. So we'll just declare a variable called result. We'll say colon, and we'll just set that equal to .0 to start. Boom. Now we're going to create a dictionary that keeps track of how many times each number has appeared as we iterate through the array. So we'll declare a variable called counts. We'll set that equal to a dictionary. The key is going to be a number, and then the value is going to be the frequency of that number. So int colon int. and come outside of that, put the parentheses, boom. Now we're going to process each number from left to right. So we're going to say for num and nums. We're going to open up the brackets, and if we've previously seen num plus k, then the absolute value of num minus num plus k is equal to k. So each occurrence forms a valid pair with the current number. So we're going to say result plus equals counts square bracket num plus k. Come outside of that, and we'll say question mark dot 0. Boom. Likewise, if we've previously seen num minus k, then the absolute value of num minus k equals k. So those occurrences also form a valid pair. So we'll come underneath this and we'll say result plus equals counts square bracket num minus k. Come outside of that, question mark dot 0 for the because it's an optional. Now we're going to record that we've seen the current number, so we're going to come underneath this and we're going to say counts square bracket num comma default colon dot 0. Come outside of that, plus equals 1. So each time we see num, we're going to add 1 to this default count over here with this right here. Boom. Now all we need to do is return the total number of pairs whose absolute difference is exactly k by coming right here, and we just need to say return result, y'all. Boom, that's all she wrote. Let's give it a run, make sure it runs properly before we submit it. It's accepted, so let's go ahead and submit it. Make sure it's still accepted after we submit it. Boom, and look at that, y'all. 0 milliseconds beats 100% of users. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I like to see, y'all. So with that being said, y'all, I hope y'all learned something today, and I hope to see y'all here tomorrow for another day, another LeetCode problem. See y'all then.